Good afternoon. Judy Allen here, San Antonio, Texas, also known as Nana. And I'm solo today because Miss Zoe wasn't able to come over today. But there's hope. There's the summertime, right? So I'm believing she's going to share some time here. We'll be able to do our lives together. So anyway, let's go down the hands. This is a very festive kit. I hope Stampin' Up! Decides to do something with their regular product that goes along with this kit, because it's just a lot of festive fun, right? Celebration, and it's just a great thing to do. And we do it at different times of the year, whether it's Mardi Gras, right, or here we also do, I do some Cinco de Mayo stuff, but it's actually, my mind's gone blank. But we have a festival here that we do in the springtime, and if Linda T or one of you guys are out there, you can put it out there. I can't think right now. It's been a very busy week on doing lives. But anyway, we have them in late April or sometimes early May that we'll sit there and have our parades and everything. It's going to come to me when I'm off doing something else, but that's okay. But there's always kind of such festive stuff, right, going on. 4th of July is right around the corner as well, too. I know for me at the senior home, we'll be making those cards. So let's go down the hands and let's check this out and make it, because it has an opportunity for 9 festive, stunning cards. And that's what I love. You know, it's kit together, so it's a great time to come together. If you got some kits, whether you have this kit or not, we have the next kit will come out right in June. But the deadline for that is the 10th of June. So if you're interested in doing an all-inclusive kit, whether it's this or you want to do the other kits they have available, just grab one and come and join us. All right? It's a great time just to get some kits done. And the first one is going to be this right here, right? I've never gone to one of the light. They have something similar to this where they have the lighting of the lanterns and let them go up in the sky. I haven't done that yet, but it doesn't mean we can't. But look how pretty the card is. So this kit actually comes with everything you need to make every card. If you've never done the kits before, it doesn't matter if it's favorite pumpkin or a kit. It's all what you need, whether it's got stamps or not. This one is stamping, but see how beautiful this is. So for me, right, I can just as easily use the front of the card. I like to cut them in half sometimes, and that way I get 2 cards out of it, but we at least make one of everything as is. So we're just going to fold this right on the scored line. If you want to use your bone folder, wherever to crease that better, you can. So the first thing they have us doing on here, so you don't have written instructions, you just have visual instructions if you've never done this before. So actually the first thing they have us do is taking this space we have right here, and we're just going to stamp some trees on there. And then we're going to also stamp the sentiment on our tag. So let's go with the sentiment on the tag. So this particular kit has Misty Moonlight ink. These are just great to carry with you, or it's great if you don't have a lot of space or anything, you want these. These are just really good to be able to ink things up. So we're just going to do it on the tag. So I put everything together just like I would as if I had an envelope, and I put them in there. I didn't use the envelopes. I'll show you the envelopes at the end because they are stunning and beautiful too. And we're just going to stamp this here. And we have bling, so we have bling this time. So each month is different, right? Some months we have bling, sometimes we don't. This month we don't. We do have bling, and sometimes we have ribbon, and sometimes we don't. I'll set this aside because now we want to do the trees. So I'm going to still do it just like you just saw that I did with the image here, but you can see that this is just the outline of the tree, but they're going to have us stamp this several times, okay? And doing it at different heights. So while there's no instructions, right, we see all this blank space. Well, you can see from the photo that they have here, look at all the stamping. So it looks like they stamped all the way across, and maybe just some stamp off just a little bit higher there. It's really hard to tell when they don't have instructions, but Stampin' Up! Does do a video, and so if you're a subscriber, they'll send that out to you if you want to do that and look at, see how they did it. I didn't look at that, but we're going to keep on stamping, right, because we're going to stamp off here. Oops. Let's see if I can hold that there. So you can see how that looks. Let me get the bone folder here. Right, you can use all the tools you normally have. It's not limited to just your regular other crafting, right? We can use it for our kits as well too. And I'm going to try to say hello, Burtner. So have you started this kit yet? It's real pretty. I've never done the lanterns and all. I know they have it and do it here in San Antonio. I'm trying to think what time of the year they do it. I think they sometime now. I'm not sure. I'll have to double check. But yes, I like doing it. I haven't done this though. I think that'd be cool to do. It always reminds me of the movie Tangled, which I've seen many a times. But that's what reminds me, since I've never seen these myself. So I'm just going to stamp across. Like I said, it looks like they just kept on stamping across until they got across. And then we're going to come and just do a little stamping above then to fill in all the gaps there. I'm going to do this off here because that's like got a lot of ink on that one spot. So right now you haven't. Get your kit out. Yes, you guys have so much stuff you have going up there in your area of the world too. I saw your posting about the, I guess the Finger Lakes or whatever, the way you could do all the little different scenic stuff there. That looked pretty exciting. We always have stuff here too, right? But it's right now, this time of the year, it's getting really hot. That's not going to change. We've been fortunate to have rain to keep it a little bit cooler. So we have about, hopefully, looks like for the next couple of weeks, starting about midweek here, we might have the chance to have 2 weeks of rain. All right, so this is what I've done. I've just done it right here. Now, if you wanted to go in and take a sponge or something else and sponge some ink in between, I might would do that just to fill it up a little bit. But that's not, there's no instructions calling for that, so I'm not doing that. All they have us do is stamp this here, and then we have our light pole here that we're going to sit up there and put tear and tape on, which it comes with a kit, right? So I'm not using this. I like to save this for when I do stuff with kids, cards for kids in the hospital. So I'm just going to use my regular stash of items. So I'm trying to think of what we were putting up on dimensionals. So if you look at this here, there's always signs here, right? Right here, we got our tape there. They have the tape here, and it looks like we got dimensionals on each of these 3 little pieces that we're going to be doing. All right, so there you go. So what we're talking about is these little light bulbs right here. I'm going to push them right here so you can see them. We're going to put 3 of these lights on here. And I didn't tape this down. I taped this stuff down this week, so it's been a busy week. If you haven't followed along, this week, past week, was all about the silly old bear. Oh, that'll be nice. Well, you'll have to let us know how the road trip is and how it is. For us, it'd be a long road trip just to get up there, but hey, you know, road trip is a road trip. This time of the year, it's a great time to do it. And hopefully you have cooler weather than what we got going on here. I gotta get my light post on first. So yes, so 92 today. 92 today. So yes, I have on sleeveless because it's gonna be warm. So it's one of those things, right? So when you go outside, it's warm, and like we went to get something to eat. Since I tried to relax on Sunday, not work of any kind, just be a bum if I can, which is rare. But still, it's the thought that counts, right? So anyway, the love of my life took me to get something to eat, and that was nice. So I'm just going to put this here. Now see, there's these lights here, these right here. These little lights are going to go up here on dimensionals. And these are mini dimensionals that came with this kit. So it looks just like that in the packet. It's just I've got a larger one from the stuff I work with. So the action on each of the light bulbs here. So you have a tiny one, right? That makes it look smaller in the distance. That's the effect you're getting. It's 70. Oh, I love 70-degree weather. Are you having it sunny or is it rainy? That's always the question. I know. It's like, you know, it has been so nice because right when we have 70-degree weather, it's so much easier to breathe, if that means anything. If, you know, for us, you get into air quality issues, which we were yesterday. We had air quality issues yesterday. So in the 70s just makes it so much easier because, right, we don't have the heat and things seem to just be much better when we have a 70-degree weather. We got all that pollen type stuff in the air. Well, I guess that was the smallest. It didn't look the smallest from the back, but it definitely is the smallest. All right, and they were just, that's what they do. They're just having us lay these over each other. And we get the last one on here. I was trying to see I think it was the tallest one. It looks like they got just a little bit tear tape. Oh, wow. Well, I bet you're glad to have some sunny weather. I mean, we've had some storms, and they were pretty. A couple of nights there was pretty intense. So this way, the dog didn't even know what to do. It is nice to get a little sunshine after we've had a lot of rain, right? It is. So I'm going to put this down like this, and this is actually going to come up and over the tag here. So the tag, remember, is, right? Looks like we get all the way to the edge, and then I'll have to figure out where the bling is. Okay, and then that's just going to stick down there. There you go. So see, when you sit there and put just a tearing tape on one end, actually we did that stamp camp all this past week several times. We put just a little bit of tearing tape or glue on one end, and that way it's down, right? And let this here, but it definitely gives the depth and dimensionals, right? Okay, so we've got this all there. Now, where the mystery is going to be here is where's the bling, and I'm not showing. Usually they show you how many little pieces of bling. I'm not seeing anything there, so we're not going to do it. There's a lot of sparkle right here as is. All right, let's go to the next card. That's card number 1. Card number 2. Let's see what we got here for card number 2. So do you have your kit out? Working on your kit? All right, so this one here, I'm not seeing the sparkle here. Let's see if it's got on number 3. It's going to show you where they show you, and I'm not seeing how they show me on the sparkle. All right, then we're just going to do our own thing. I usually try to make it once like they do it, but I'm not seeing it, so we're not going to worry about it. That is small stuff, so we're not going to sweat the small stuff. I have 12 little pieces of sparkle over here. Yeah, we're looking for some more rain because, you know, with all the rain we have, we are still in drought restrictions. I mean, we've got a ways to go to get out of drought restriction. I know I'm ready to get out of drought restriction and do whatever we want to do with watering, with plants, and gardening. All right, so this one is Time to Celebrate. We've got all the fireworks here. Makes it look like that, right? 4th of July is right around the corner. So that's what we'll do at the senior home in a couple of weeks when I go for there. They like to do 4th of July, and we do the all red, white, and blue stuff. That's what they like. Well, today's the day you need to get it out and make it while we're doing this, right? All right, so this is actually being put on with tearing tape, so we'll just go ahead and get that on there. There's no reason why we can't. I'm trying to look and see what they got here. So this is actually just all being, so they have the tag here that I've got here that's put down with just tearing tape. And then we have the other items that are going to be put on with dimensionals. So I'm just going to go ahead and get that on here. It looks like they did it at the end. Okay, I'll try to behave. Follow what it looks like the directions. Well, this is my time to do it, right? This is my time when I do the kit together to work on the kit. And then I sit there and work on alternatives from there. So I'm just going to put one of each of these here. So, right, when we do the kit together, at least I can do, for sure, we know we're going to sit there and get at least whatever's done in the kit, one of each, and then we'll get to the alternatives. All right, so the showing you on here is that if you can't tell, it tells you how many, and they show the placement that they have done it from their directions. So if you ever wonder, yes, at one point in time they did used to sit there and actually have the verbiage and written out directions, and then through time they just went to pictures. And that's okay, right? It's just sometimes I'm not sure exactly where they've put some things, but most things I can tell, right? Or we can figure out. So this one here is we're just working on getting our dimensionals out and scattered over here because this is a pretty large piece that we're going to put down. And I think we got it all now. So we're going to have, it looks like they got us putting this on, these two pieces here first. So see, I didn't have to stamp anything. I didn't have to stamp any trees on this one. But we're going to get this down. So you can see this is just a very starry night, and we're just putting this on here. But I am going to make sure it comes pretty much up to the edge, because it looks like what they've done here is put it to the edge. just like that. So, right, because without this, they don't have any sparkle now. I'm trying to see if I see it, but I don't see any stamping. This is it. So they do have, if you wanted to add some, you wouldn't be able to see it too much. It just would actually, if you use some heat embossing, you could. So they do have where you can stamp the sparkle coming out, but we're not going to need to because everything's here is done for us already. And we're just putting this out here. But we got to leave enough room for this right here, okay? So why they didn't have me put this down, let me go and put it down because this other is going to cover it, and I need to make sure I don't cover it. Are you at least home for a little while? If your mom's coming to visit, I know you got to be home for at least for that. You can do a road trip with her, which is nice. I'm ready for some beach time before it gets too hot. Alright, so I just need to take these off. I did just this one I don't have off. Well, let's see if I can get that off. Yeah, okay, now I got everything. Alright, so this again, this is just going to line up on the edge also. So what I like is we're covering this up. So it gives you an idea of placement. But you know what, we can definitely add Wink of Stella to this fireworks looking stuff here. Alright, then we have 3 of these. So that's where you're going to see where it looks like you've got little pieces of it right there. I should have come down a little bit lower with this, but it's okay. I'm going to do this right up here. And I'm going to here. So we got 3 of these. We got that's got the silver right there. But you can do this yourself, right? If you wanted to sit there and do your own, you can do that as well. Yay, you're home for a little while. I know your cat's got to be happy about that. All right. Okay, so see, I should have came down just a little bit lower. I wasn't seeing this little silver right here. I could see it would go right about there, which I can. I can just put it up here. Maybe that's what they did. I'm not sure. It's hard to tell, but that's where ours is going. All right, so we've got it all right here. Like I said, if you want to Wink of Stella, especially on these other sparkles, then just add it, right? I don't have to cover every little thing, but I definitely can add some sparkle to the center, a little sparkle out here, because you know if you went outside and saw this, you'd be seeing just all the sparkly fun of it. Wink of Stella, I do that all the time. And you could actually flick it too, right? But I wasn't doing that today. All right, so there is our card number 2. Boop, boop. All right, let's go to card number 3. This is the one with the lanterns. I like this. I haven't been, so it means I just need to go. I just need to go. So looky here. Put this aside. This is what we're going to make. It has all this stuff. Now, they definitely covered up the lanterns when we get through. But look how pretty that is, right? So, personally, I can't get paper like this. They don't have it. I would cut this right down right there. In fact, I'm going to do that because I'm going to want to make another card with this. So we're going to still decorate it, right, as if it's the card as a whole. But I'm definitely going to stamp because I like this, and I can't get it, and I want more of it. So there you go. That's just how I do it. Just cut it right in half. We're going to decorate it as if I didn't do that, and the back's still on it. So what I'll do, right, is I'll just do some cardstock or the envelope, right? I have beautiful envelopes that I can make this into cardstock or card base, right? There's got 3 different colors, so I did that. And no apologies there because I know there are limited amounts. So we have these little pieces as well too. This is what I was talking about. And so we got this right here. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and punch these out because we already know we're going to have to do that anyway, at least the center part. All right, so we're doing just I'm hoping that's attached because these look like, let's see here, I got it upside down. All right, so for me, I'm thinking they're going to go this way and they're going to float into the sky, but they have them going like this. All right, so I know my alternative is going to have that going up there. Yes, I'm cutting these in half for sure, right? Because you can't get them. Same thing with this other one. It's just the stars if you want to do something else, but I really like that. But yes, this one at least I did the front and back, but you're going to have to be careful because I can't tell if they die cut all the way through these edges. All right, so I'm going to carefully put these out because they want, you know, we're going to use them like this, right? And it looks like it's still attached. but so I can't really tell. See, because actually part of it looks like it wants to sort of come off here. And I really don't want it to do that, because then I'll have to, I can't write it. So if the world wouldn't end, if it came off, I would just turn around and glue it down. But I'm just trying to see how this is going to go, because you see all the white there, and the only way you're going to get all that white is leaving that on there. All right? And have that window look. So these have to come out, and the other has to stay. Yeah, just cut it in half. All right, so we're going to put tear and tape on the back of this. They didn't show you poking it out, but you have to poke it out. That's the only way you're going to get the look. I'm just looking at it to see how that is. Yep, they just have us going around and making a rectangle here, putting the tear and tape. Oh, that is too funny. I did this the other day. All right, I am out of tear and tape on that, so we are going to use what is in the box. Because, oh no, I don't. I have a big roll of tear tape up here. I really like to save those for the kiddos, because it's easy for me to put those out for them and have them each have their own, versus giving them something big and bulky like this. All right, but this is perfect for what we're doing. All right. Yes, I ran out of glue dots the other day with, usually I have so many that I like clean them up and move them on. But I ran out this week, so I had to make sure, not that I ran out in this house, right? I just didn't have them out and ready available. So see, I crossed over that with just a little bit of that there. The window seam, hold it there. So right, you can see how big of a roll this is. So when you're working with it, it can seem a little cumbersome until you work it down a little bit, but it's okay. All right. So we're going to take the tear and tape off. Yes, today is door prize day. So, yes, we gave away door prizes yesterday. We pulled names and everything from Stamp Camp. So this is actually what we're doing today is we sit there and give away door prizes. If you've been following and making comments throughout the month up until today, from the last time we did this, then your name gets put in a drawing. So it does. So the difference with Facebook is, right, you can do an emoji, or you can do a comment, or you can do both, right, and your name gets in the drawing. When we were on YouTube, YouTube doesn't give you the person's name on if they just make, doing a thumbs up or whatever. So then we can't put your name in the drawing as a result. So that's why we said leave comments. So we're on Facebook, it's a little bit different. However, they only keep the videos and all for 30 days, and they delete. So that's the offset. All right, so we have the look now just like we have right here. Okay? All we have to do is put our tear and tape on. Now we're going to have these here as well. Now, it looks like I might have supposed to put these on originally on the inside. I guess I was. But I thought I was doing that with dimensionals, which I am. Which that doesn't make sense. So I don't understand unless I can sit there and put this behind here. So let's see what this is. It got me putting dimensionals. It's got me doing tear and tape. So that doesn't make sense to me. All right. It's okay. We say let's put in 2 dimensionals here. Yes, so I don't make these ahead of time, right? I come to craft along with you, so we're both doing this together. So I can actually open this window, though, because this window is not taped down. It's very thin, though, right? So if I do, it looks like this one's right here because it's really big. Okay, so I'm going to put that right here. All right, it's so big, it looks like it might cross over into the other window, too. All right, let me get this one up. Okay, definitely did not see that coming, right? Okay, so this one's also, it's going to be on dimensional. So this is the middle one. They have us putting 2 dimensionals on here also. One in the smaller section, one larger section. Yeah, I can. I just opened the windows. But they're thin, so I would just be careful, right? I mean... Yeah, so it looks like I didn't take these down, so you can see that's about where they go. So let's see this 2 one here. I'm trying to see. It looks like this 2 one is going to go over here to the right side. So you can see in the window here. So actually, this sort of reminds me if you're an artist and you draw by squares. So you can see here the large one sort of came down into this one here and was up in the other one. And the 2, it's not up here, right? So it's going to come down across these windows right here. And they go down like this. So I'm going to open this up and have it where it's going to come down right with it like that there. Okay. All right, and this last one just has one-dimensional. Yeah, I know, right? It's at first I was so concerned that they had scored it so much here that it was just the windows were going to come off, but no. We just have one here, and we're going to take this off, and it's going to come down in this 3rd window down here. So actually theirs is a little bit further down than what I did mine. I'll see if I can pull it up and do it. I'm not sure if I can or cannot. But this one's just going to come down. So if you want to count windows, right, just count your windows. So this one's going to be in the 3rd window, right about here. So you see how that's going to go here? And this one came down a little bit further. I have it really high up in comparison to theirs. I'll see if I can take it off without creating like havoc. Meaning, you know, I'd strip off the paper off back. Okay, did not do that. Yay. All right, so I'll come down a little bit further here. And it did. It crossed over. It looked like coming into the other over there, but you could barely see it, right? So it's just sort of like that. Okay. But they didn't use any bling. That's what I was trying to see, is where did they use the bling? And I'm not seeing any bling being told to be used anywhere. So, all right, let's stamp our sentiment, and then we'll worry about using up some of this bling here. All right, so this has got a unique design to it, right? So they actually have you stamping it so that this part here is at the top. So we're gonna have here, that one says, wishing you happiness. All right, so this is really long, so I had to sit there and do it diagonally on my block here, or else I needed to get a larger block out. But with paper pumpkin, right, these are the ones that usually come with the kits and everything and all. Oh, that's all right. It should be showing up. Was it not showing up over there? Because it should. When I got on here earlier, it was like, okay, it was on YouTube, and it was like, my techie and I did not talk about how to switch this over, but I managed. So now you're making me wonder what was on Zoe and Nana, because it should be the same thing, but maybe not, because I can't see both at the same time. All right. So then we're just going to put this on with, it's got 3 dimensionals here, so we're going to put this on with 3 dimensionals. So yeah, that bothers me a little bit, so I'll have to look and see, because it may be that it didn't show up on Zoe and Nana, and I thought we were streaming both at the same time, which I normally do, right? Oh, yeah. Facebook, thank you, not FaceTime. I think I said FaceTime. Which I do live on FaceTime for about an hour almost every day with a cute, amazing little 5-year-old who wants to show me all of his dinosaurs now. It's all about dinosaurs at the moment. And he can take them and zoom them up into a room on his app. So it looks like the dinosaur is going after the dog as the dog is just sitting there calmly. It's funny. Really funny what technology will let you do. So this is they have you just putting it right under the window here. It's underneath the window. All right, so I don't see any bling added anywhere, so we're going to add some. We're going to at least add some to the outside here because we can, right? I'm not sure. They're not really showing me what they want me to do with it, but we're just going to do our own thing. All right, so this is sparkly pretty good itself, right? Without me adding anything to it. All right, so this is one of the cards here. This now we did, right? We put this whole window thing right here on top, and I'm trying to see about opening the card for you to show you. Or is this the one I cut off? This is the one I cut off. So Linda, here's a great example. Is I took this, I thought this was going to go this way. But it's actually, they have you doing it this way, going up into the night sky. So I didn't realize that. So right off the bat, I've already cut the back of this off here. But I would tell you it would be cute. Let's see how this would look. So this is card number 1 that I cut the back off because this was the back side and I want to be able to use these for alternatives, right? So here's some right here. Here's the other card we created. So we go with the 3 cards we've already created. So our alternative is always like taking what can we do alternatively. So there's a couple of things that I'm going to do and I'm going to show you, right? So here's what we created as is from the instructions. Now I already know I'm going to do an alternative. So one thing I do monthly at the end of the month is I do an alternative just using the stamps. So what would that mean is, it would be okay, here's what's in the kit. Now I'm going to go outside of the kit and create an alternative. So here would be the alternative that I would create here. And that would be I would take this here, and I don't have this color with me. I just have what's the kit right here. But what I would do is take some of the tags from the kit, or I could go do a tag just like this here. And let's take what I would do. So one thing that we've been working on, and I've been doing with a group, is been working on showing people different ways you can take what you have already. Since it's been a poo week all day week, it's easier to take poo. I would take this here and I would stamp it. And on this one, I would say I could do one of 2 things. I could say wishing you happiness or you are invited. So the alternative, I was thinking about this, just using the stamp, right? So trying to, and when we do alternatives with this group, I think there's 4 or 5 of us that we're doing this every month. And just showing people how you can do alternatives with just the stamp sets, going outside, not even using all the other stuff in the kit, right? So this is what I would do. Now I would most likely go and do this in a little bit different color, but I would put down here that you are invited, right? And I would sit there and make a card out of this. And I would definitely use most likely the ink, the same color ink, which I used, and this other one was Hydrangea Hue. But just to show you an example here, is what I do with this group is, all right, I would take something that I've created, and let's just change out the stamp set, right? So in this particular case, it would be you're invited, and if you really want to get the true visual, I'm just going to use a dab of tearing tape. They're all really cute kits, right? No matter what. I hope they come out with something. Put this toward the bottom just to give you the visual effect. I hope they come out with these lanterns and lights. This is really nice and different. We haven't had anything like that. All right, so you would see it, and it would be just like this here, right? So it's just taking this right here, what's in the kit. For me, you're invited, right? Because we got everybody together. Or we could also do wishing you happiness. I think either would work really good with this right here, just showing you how to take the stamps and go outside the box. And you could sit there and do sparkles if you wanted to with the stamp set. If you did, I would even just sit up there and use either Barely Blush and give you the sparkle behind it, which you got, let's see what the stamp set we got here. I was looking, I have this, like, I've used everything in the stamp set except 2 images. And one is the image of the sparkles, and the other is, seems like there was one other thing. So they're not even giving you, right now, so you don't even get the inserts anymore. What you do is you have this on back. So if I wanted to put on here, wishing you happiness, or you're invited, but wishing you happiness for sure, I could take this right here, the sparkle, and they've also got the little star sparkles here too, and I could easily stamp around what I already have just to give it the bursting effect, right? So that would be something really cute and easy to do. The other thing that I would do then as an alternative, right? So that's one thing that I do with this group is they want to show people how to use the stamp sets after you use up everything in the kit to keep on using your stamps, all right? So that's what I would do with that. The other thing is then with this, then what I would do is let's just cut up some stuff. One thing that's really popular right now, if you haven't seen it, is to take some cardstock. So in this particular case for us, it's going to be the card base of what I just had left over. And what we would do is we're going to cut it every 1/2 inch. So let's do it. Let's do that alternative, Linda. Okay, so I'm just going to come up here and let's see what you can see. Let's see if I got it where you can see it. I think so. Okay, so this is done increments, if I can talk. So I'm just going to do 1/2 inches. So let's get our 1/2 inches going. And I'm going to try to keep them in order, right? I forget what this effect is called. Maybe Deborah, one of you guys might know, right? But it's just coming in 1/2 inch strips. And we could actually cut the top off just a little bit if we wanted to too, but we don't have, in this case, we do have a background on here that would allow us to mimic what is already there, but I'm not going to do that. We're going to take this envelope over here and I'm going to cut this envelope. But I'm going to get these at least a 1/2 inch each. There is a technique, and in fact, Laura Lee actually took a photo and did the same technique and sent me a card with the photo done like this. I don't know what it's called offhand. I know it does have everything has a term, right? Whether somebody changes the name and calls it something else, but everything starts off with a name, right? So yeah. All right, so we cut these every 1/2 inch. Now we need an envelope, and I'm going to take an envelope, and I'm going to wish I brought some water because I'm already like thirsty. So when I created yesterday, I couldn't drink. On Friday was the last day, so I couldn't drink water then because I had to go do a procedure that I had to sit there and fast. But the fasting was you couldn't even have water. I mean, you couldn't have anything. So that was like 3 or 4 hours. So sort of feeling like that right now because I'm super thirsty. All right, so we got that right there. So that's that. All right, so we need a card base. So I'm going to take this right here, and I'm trying to see. The difference of this is normally my card base is going to be like this because I did this on the height right. The Chinese lantern. We do a lantern festival here, but I don't know if they call it Chinese here. Do you know, Linda? I know we do it. On this particular case, I really like this. So you can see how this would be. So I'd have to square it off just a little bit. So actually our cards are usually 4 1/4 wide, which would be like this. So I have room, right? I have room. All right, so I'm going to do that there, and I'm going to come over here to, so what's going to happen, this is going to be my bottom, right? So I'm going to have to maneuver just a little bit. I only, for a card base normally, like I said, this would be 4 1/4, and I just sliced this up, and it should be 4 1/4 wide. So we're going to need to just come over here 4 1/4 inches. I have to come on this side, 4 1/4. There's my edge, but I'm going to need to find a spot that's right and straight so I can get this definitely on the 4 1/4 line here. And I'm going to do the same thing here. All right, so it's going to cut some off. You can see it's going to cut that off, and that's okay. All right, so this would be normally the card base, and this isn't going to quite work like I normally would work it, but that's all right. We're going to work with it. This is still going to be the back behind it because this is what I want. I want what I want, and that's that. Right? We want what we want. So I just need this to be flat. So I will. I don't have any cardstock with me to do this, but right, I can put anything behind it. I can put white. I can put very vanilla. Any of those works. Okay, so the height of our card bases are usually 5 1/2. All right. Yeah, so I'm just tossing all this extra stuff aside. I can use it for something else. But at least this is going to give me a foundation of what I'm going to put this on, okay? So what they do, so I got this technically upside down, right? Because everything's going to go this way, right? So let me get us all in the same direction. So yes, we have an envelope behind here, but nobody's going to know by the time we get through. So what they do is they take these here and they alternate between flat and lifted, flat and lifted, flat and lifted. So that's what we're going to do. And somebody's going to know what this technique is called. Now I'm not cutting off the bottom. You know, some of them you cut it off and so forth and all. But you can see how this is going to sort of look because I've got the same background. I don't necessarily have the lanterns and the sparkle, but I've got the same background, right? So I'm just putting this here at the moment. Yes, and I sort of feel like I'm on low fuel. I'm not really on low fuel because I've already ate, but I'm definitely low fuel from a liquid standpoint. So, if everybody could hold their ears for just a moment, because I'm actually going to sort of yell in a different direction, see if somebody can bring me some water, because I'm like shaking, and it's part of it's because I am like, my body's saying I need liquid. All right, so you see how I do this right here? Okay, so hold on a minute as I sort of do a little shout. All right, my love, Greg, yes. Could you give me some water, please? A bottled water? Yes. All right, so hopefully that wasn't yelling too much in you guys' ears. All right, so I'm going to start off with, I'm going to go flat here, and I'm going to lever the next one. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pieces, right? So they're all going to be up, down, up, down. So if you want to prefer to start in the center, you can. Up, down, right? So I'm just going to do the outer one here, down, and it's just going to be done with tear and tape. I do love this technique, and it's really not that hard, right? You spend more time cutting the cardstock and stuff that you want just to get to the base, to get it the way you want it. So I'm just going to do this. And, you know, it's just a neat effect, right? A neat technique that just gives a totally different look. So I'm going to go ahead, and you know, it's just going to be a smidgen from the edge, right? Because we have a little smidgen right there we cut off. Okay, and I'm just going to come right here, and I'm going to come from the end here to here. And I'm just leaving my smidgen of a difference there, right here on the edge. But it's going to go all the way at the top. Now, if you get it off a little bit or whatever, you're just going to take it in the end, and you'll just cut it off. Thank you, dear, because I'm like super thirsty.
Yep, not a problem.
Thank you. As my techie says, you get thirsty when you're working all that paper, and I do. All right, so we can use the dimensionals right here. I mean, we already had it. This was in the kit. That's all we're going to do. The bigger, you know what, the only thing is if I use the bigger ones, I think that would be quicker. But really, all you're doing is butting these up against one another, right? Because you're occupying the whole space. But it can be done different ways, right? Some people don't do it from top to bottom. Some people actually shorten it, which you could. But see this, see how long and tall this is? If it's going the other way, right, it's going to be shorter because it's only 4 1/4. Well, let's see if I can do these all. I might have to use the bigger dimensionals because these things are so tiny. Let's see here. It's okay, I'll just put them in between. All right, yeah, these are, until I get my fluid level up here. Ah, I'll tell him you said hello. Oh. Well, so lots of times, you know, he's listening to something, he's got earbuds in. So, or he's, yeah, even when he watches the TV, he's got earbuds in with the Bluetooth. So, yeah. There's nobody else here, it's just him and I, and the dog definitely wasn't going to do anything, so. All right, I'll tell him you said hi, though. So, yeah, so see here, I'm just going to line this up here where it looks like they're right there together. And it is, except for the fact that I've cut the paper. Now, this one got stuck down on me. Okay. All right, so you see how this is just going to go across. So you really haven't done anything other than we're using tear and tape, but it gives a nice effect, right? When we did the poo stuff, yeah, I did that with the jars, right? I cut the jars on a line where they connected, where they overlapped, and used the same technique, but it was just on a smaller scale, right? It's just, I had 2 jars I separated from the rest, and I just lifted them up versus going across a whole page. So it's, don't limit yourself, right? It's not limited to just a page like this. It could be anything that you want to have the same effect. You're just doing it a little bit differently in how you're doing it, what you're doing it with. Okay, so see, I didn't get that one quite as close as it's because I don't have any adhesive thing here. These are the tiny ones. Is it sticking out? Yeah, it's sticking out. So then I'll just get that over there. So the main thing is, you're right, you just want to get the lines where the lines line up, and all you did was just lifted it. You know, if it would be easier, like depending on the different days of the week or whatever, right, I might do better with one than the other. Then I would just sit up there and do a piece at a time, right? Versus right now I'm doing like the whole thing, where you can do a section at a time, right? You don't have to, you're not required, but see how that looks? Now, so if you flip this over, okay, it looks like it might be a little off right there, a little off at the top. Then at the end, when you get through, just cut it down. Now you can say, well, then my cardstock's going to be taller. Well, then cut your cardstock down. I have done that before. You know, something didn't pan out just right. Then I just turn around and cut the cardstock. I don't think I have anybody, when I send them a card, that's getting a ruler out and saying, ooh, this is off. It's not exactly a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. If they did, I'd ask to see their card that they created, right? So that's the way you handle it, right? Love of my life's mother philosophy is you couldn't critique anybody or anything unless you've done it yourself, so they have the opportunity to critique you. So I would tell you to share that and pass that along, and that stops a lot of people in their tracks. Okay, so see, I'm just lining that up because it's got a lot. So this has got, you know, the little lines, right? So you want to definitely try to line those up as best you could. All right, and we're just going to work our way across. So I was trying to think, because there's nothing that looks like I've cut that off there. So just make sure, always try to keep things together, right, if I'm matching things together. But see, now, right now, as I'm looking at this, I'm trying to see if any of this matched up. Okay, see how those matched up there? I don't have anything per se over here that can show that matched up. But I can definitely put those two together, and I can definitely look at the original, because I have the original. But the world's not going to end one way or the other. We're making a beautiful card for somebody, and that's all that counts. So this is simple. It's just time consuming, right? Because you're going to have to put the adhesive on every other one, or glue. Glue, I think, would have been faster for me anyway. But this is what I have. This was what's in the kit. So you can, right? You can make alternatives. You could do the same thing with the other paper as well, too, if you wanted to. And I don't have anything to line up right here, so I'm just going to make sure I get it. It looks like I got the edges together. And then this next one will be up on dimensionals. But just a nice effect, right? And then you can still put the same tag on here that we had. The other thing they have right now is they have some black butterflies that would look nice. Or they also have a butterfly set that punches out the butterflies that you could actually sit there and do butterflies if you wanted to. Or any other kind of sparkle. So again, I'm just going to make sure I try to line those up where it just looks like it's continuous, right, even though it's lifted. And that's all I do is just make it look like it lines up pretty good. All right, we just have 2 more, and then the layer will be done, and we can just use I don't know if I can use my trimmer or not, because some of the stuff that's elevated is sort of what stops you. It's easier sometimes just to use your scissors. Because I'm thinking, I feel like I'm missing a piece. Oop. Let me see something here. No, I'm missing a piece. It's pretty tight, right? So this is going to be flat and this is going to be up. I was thinking it should have been done like this other one, flat on the end. That's what I was just looking to make sure. So right, you flip it over, it's white. So that is not uncommon in this household, to have it flip over and be white, and you're looking for it and you can't find it because you're looking for color. All right, we're going to do the same thing here. We're just going to line it up like this. So this one's going to be, as you put them side by side just like this right here. So this one's going to be up on dimensionals. So you'll see that we have just a little bit. So that is your call, right? If you wanted to shorten it a little bit or not. All I would tell you is if you decided to shorten it, then just make sure when you do your cardstock, you do the same thing, right? So I definitely, and I have maneuvered before. Wouldn't be the first time I maneuvered. It won't be the last. So when you get through, then, you know, if it doesn't line it perfectly up and it's not perfect enough for you, then just make some alternations. Goodness knows we do it in sewing and other areas, so. And cooking too, I wouldn't be surprised. We make adjustments in cooking as well. All right, so this is the last piece. Let's see if I can do it from here. If it looks any different. It doesn't look any different to me one way or the other, if it's the other way or this way, but they're there, right? So there you go, there is your look. So you can see I've got just a little bit left over on this side here and just a smidgen over here. So if you wanted to cut it and trim it, then you could, right? That's all I'm gonna do. I've got my base here. And yes, I did use the envelope, right? And you can see the envelope line right here. But by the time I put this on a card base, nobody's gonna see that, right? But see how I like it because it gives a little bit of it, so you get off a little bit. You still got that nice color in between. And then I can just come right here, right? So if you do this, then that's what you're gonna end up doing. You're gonna end up trimming your card base. But you just do it on the front and back both and everything's even, right? So it doesn't matter. That's the small stuff, okay? So now we got our look just like right here. So if this was I'll use a totally different color, different envelope. So so this is the size, a little bit bigger than what we need our envelopes to be. This is almost 5 3/4. And it is 4.5, about 4.5 wide, a little bit less than. But you can see, right? So if this was my card base, that's what it would look like, right? So that's fine. Unless you wanted something else. If you don't, then just trim it, right? Just take your paper, trim all the way around to whatever you want. Card's gonna look like that, that's fine. Just trim it all the way around if that's what you really want. And then you just put your tag right down here, whatever you wanted to on your sentiment. So like this one here I have still handy from a minute ago. I can put "You're invited" just over here to the side. And trim it off any way I want. I can add some little ribbon right here. And you have a easy, right? There's your alternative card right there, Linda. Whoop, whoop. So there you go. I have to get some card base and to put in. But yeah, ribbon, just add you some ribbon or twine. Twine goes with everything. I'm here to tell you, everything. I've gone through so much twine, it's not even funny. And I'm still going through twine because it goes with everything, right? So you can take twine and just wrap it around there. You've got it made. If you want to take twine and wrap around it with some ribbon, that always looks good too. So there's just different things you can do with it. Definitely needs a card base to finish that off, hold it steady. But there you go. There's an easy alternative, and that is just cutting strips of what we did of half that card, just half strips all the way across, right? And until we get through of half strips and just put it down. There you go. You got an alternative. All right. I hope you enjoy this, and I want to thank you for joining in today. I want to thank you for following me here, not only here, but also on Instagram and YouTube. And with that, we'll get off of here, and we'll gather the names that we've accumulated throughout the month, and we'll do our door prizes. So what we do with door prizes at the end of the month, like we do here the last Sunday of the month, is we give away some of the kits. So let me get off, and we'll get that drawing done, and we'll post who the winners are. And then I'll just need you to private message me your mailing address, and we'll get that to you. So if you are interested in the silly old bear, we do have the retreat box to go. You just click on the link. It's there in the feed there on both of our sites and also on YouTube as well too. If you're interested in that. And we also have Tea Party Bingo coming up. So you want to keep an eye out. You might want to even sign up for the newsletter because we have some other things coming along too. So with that, be blessed, and I'll be live again on Wednesday. Bye.